Hello again, Peter here. Not mic'd up. I need to just, yeah. 2 sugar crashes, glucose crashes, whatever I call them. Alarm went off around 4 a.m. and I just turned off my iPhone so I could go back to sleep. I was exhausted. Drove for over 4 hours yesterday after a quick weekend vacation. Let's turn this thing back on and see what this device is telling me. I like second opinions, that's why I started wearing multiple rings and multiple watches, but I don't know if I can afford $400 a month to wear a continuous glucose monitor, one on my right and one on my left. Would that be extraneous? Superfluous, if I can use that word. Anyway, the crash was down to 50 something, and I did some reading. Basically, I learned that back in 1736, Benjamin Franklin said, "An ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure." Thanks, Ben. Back on 0601, actually back in May sometime, I had my first crash according to the CGM. A blood sugar or glucose crash may happen when the human's blood glucose levels drop below 70 milligrams per deciliter. All right. Some call this occurrence hypoglycemia, and it could have been caused by an imbalance of insulin and glucose inside my body. When your pancreas is healthy, this lovely organ releases the perfect amount of insulin in response to sugar or carbohydrate consumption. So after you eat, and it takes several minutes usually, then the pancreas releases insulin to counteract everything you've consumed. Sometimes this process can go sideways and your body's glucose levels become unstable. Unstable's it's a negative word. And then there's this 15-15 rule that I just learned about this morning. I just eat 15 grams of carbs to raise the glucose, and then I check my glucose level 15 minutes later. All right, I'll try that next time. How can I avoid these spikes and crashes? We'll get to that. First, let's turn on the phone and see what happens. That reflection is my Lume Cube light in the background. I've talked about it before. And let's turn it up a notch. There. Is that better? Yeah. So there's really 2 ways. Well, there's many ways. One, you can do nothing and just continue to live your life and eat whatever you want and exercise. I mean, I feel fine, but I don't. And sometimes when you feel off, you want to know the reason why. And now that I have this CGM and I'm wearing smart devices to track my heart rate and all this stuff, I know the why. The funny thing is, do you really want to know? But I feel it's better to know now and do some prevention than when I turn 60, finding out that I need to take all this medicine and pills and start injecting insulin or taking really, really expensive medication. Yeah, so it takes a bit, but the Libre 3 does store data. I've already done this test where I turn it off at night and wake up the next morning and all my data is there. I have 8 hours left, by the way. 5:03 a.m., it was down to 56 milligrams per deciliter. Yeah, I guess that's a crash. And then it kind of happens really subtly. So here's my graph from last night. You can see it now, it updated. There's 8 hours left. I can't click on this, but if I click here and I go time and ranges, really good, 1%, and it shows 0% because I've had very, very few crashes. I've been very careful over the last week. If I go to the 14-day, still not a lot of spikes, hardly ever in the 250 range. And I've never fallen below 50 since I've started tracking. And then 90 days, let's see what it says. Data available for 52 of the 90 days. So that's how many days it's tracked. So I'm on day 53, give or take. And then I go to low glucose events, 14 days. So very, very minute, which is good. So I just have more things to do. This was down to 5.8 when I was on my second CGM, but apparently I was a little too loosey-goosey with my diet. Yeah, there you go, Freestyle Libre 3. So I have this connected to my Ultrahuman ring, and then my Ultrahuman ring tracks all my health, along with my Helio ring and my 2 Aura rings. Okay, here's my morning stats. Check the metabolism tab. It shows 93, but that was back at 4 a.m. this morning. So I was at 93 around 4 a.m. And then let's see if we can see the exact crash. This is something I can't do on the Libre 3 app, is hold my finger down and see the exact time. So it looks like the data is still importing because Ultrahuman is not showing a crash. Interesting. So in a way, Ultrahuman does more with my data than this Libre 3 app, which is kind of strange. I want to hold my finger down on this and I can't. But it has all this other stuff, average glucose, sensor usage. I'm checking it multiple times a day. And I figured out how to push this data to my Apple Watch, which I'll get to in another video. My body did something and it got my glucose back up, and I didn't do anything. I haven't eaten anything since last night. So I'm gonna go make a healthy breakfast. And I'm thinking what I'm gonna need to do tonight. I checked my range right before I went to bed, and I was at about, I don't know, I was at 100 or 120, so I was fine. Actually, if I go here and swipe back to yesterday, there's 3 p.m. Okay, right here. So I spiked at 10:22 p.m. and then I had that sleep alert. Okay, so that's when the ring decided I was asleep. So maybe I should have had a handful of nuts or something. So this whole thing is very interesting. So I wrote down some things after doing some reading: how to avoid crashes and spikes. I need to eat a more balanced diet. That's Captain Obvious, right? A more balanced diet. I must avoid sugary foods, drinks outside meal times. My old kind of habits were, I was thirsty, I just drink whatever. I'd try to avoid calories, but I was more concerned with calories than I was with what was inside the calories. I'd try to avoid sugar, but then yes and no. I was a little too careless. Yeah. So a can of Orange Crush, no offense to people that like that drink, all on its own, outside mealtime. So let's say it's 11 a.m. I ate breakfast 4 hours ago and I down a can of Orange Crush over a period of 20 minutes. That's going to spike my glucose and then I'm going to crash. So no more of that. Number 3, I must continue to eat smaller portions for my daily 5 meals. I normally eat a really good breakfast, lunch, and then a third meal between lunch and dinner, and then dinner. But I think what I'm going to do is do breakfast, snack, lunch, snack, dinner. Yeah, 5 meals. And number 3, I must continue to eat smaller portions for my daily 5 meals. Now, I was able to control myself yesterday after lasagna. One of my kiddos didn't finish theirs. I'm like, oh, I'll take that. I didn't do that. That avoided both the huge spike and crash of overeating. Number 4, I need to continue to pack my own food and avoid certain packaged stuff. I call this robacha chibo or chibo robacha, and it's garbage food. Need to avoid that altogether. Number 5, my food prep and planning. Am I gonna have to start weighing food? I don't know yet. Number 6, meeting with a doctor more than once every 2 years. Number 7, more protein and fiber, less food from boxes. And then I got a lot of this research off of various websites, and then I just researched what is a blood sugar crash, and it came off verywellhealth.com, and I read that article, and I'll put a link in the description. CGM, it looks like I'm gonna go to number 5 here pretty soon. This will wear out in, 8 hours? And probably now it's gonna be, nope, still 8 hours. So I'm at 109. How often do you check this? If you're pre-diabetic, if you have type 1, type 2 diabetes, and you're wearing a CGM, if you could comment down below, how often are you checking yours? Are you checking every 10 minutes, every 15? That's why I think I'm gonna have to go back to the Apple Watch, because it's more discreet that I've found. You know, I'm eating and I'm halfway through the meal. I don't like pulling out my phone just to check this, but I can just glance down at my watch and check it, and it's less distracting. I'm just glad they have these and I'm not doing the finger pokes or waking up at 5 a.m. when I had that crash and then having to go get the little thing and poke, and then that would completely wake me up. But I just checked and it was, yeah, it was down to 50. My last crash, the alert on 6/1 was, well, I did have a spike last Thursday, 184. Friday jumped up, yeah, Saturday morning at 1 a.m. I had a crash and I was down to 57. And the alarm went off and I just went back to bed and it was fine. So apparently I should have eaten something, but I didn't. I'm not used to eating something at 1 a.m. or 4 a.m. And if you look at the graph right here, I'll just show you the screenshot. If you look at the graph right there, I was really high up, and then I should have had some complex carbohydrates. I've been eating a lot of low salt almonds, and that seems to be helping well. And then I've also learned that along with the balanced diet, it's not just the balanced diet, it's the order of foods. So if I wrap my meal around proteins or complex carbohydrates, that helps. Yeah, white bread, yeah, no more of that stuff. I need to switch to wheat rice, I think. Maybe red rice. Yeah, but no, it's good. I'm very lucky that I'm still in that pre-diabetic, and honestly, there's millions of people out there that are pre-diabetic. You know, yeah, I'm sorry to tell you, you're pre-cancerous right now, but many people are a candidate to cancer. It's just when and where, right? Is it going to be in your 60s, your 70s, your 40s, your 30s, your 80s? Who knows? I've already had, let's see, there's a scar right there. I have 2 right there, 1 on my back, 1, 2, 3, 14 moles removed so far. So no, I don't sunbathe anymore. And I just have to be careful when I eat out. Yeah, change in lifestyle, that's all. My goal here is to do everything I can today to make next year and hopefully the next, many decades easier. I don't want to go on medications. I have 1 prescription now that I don't really need to take, and I would like to get off that so I have no prescriptions. That would be my knock on wood, right? Yeah, if you're new to my videos, this is my Remarkable tablet. It's the Remarkable 2 tablet. I've had it almost 4 years now. It's the world's thinnest tablet. It's great. This is my Garmin Instinct 2X Solar in flaming red, the Ultrahuman Ring Air Bionic Gold, Oura Ring Gen 3 Silver, Oura Ring Gen 2, kind of this black onyx color. This is the new Helio Ring by Amazfit in tungsten. And then this earth blue watch here is the Coros Vertex 2S. That's it for today's entry. I'm gonna go have some scrambled eggs with some whole wheat toast and a glass of almond milk. Pithy comments, type those down below. And this has been another video with Gadgets Anonymous. Thanks for watching, and thanks Amazfit for sending me the Helio Ring. It's been really fun. I can't wait till you guys integrate with glucose like the Ultrahuman Ring has. The app is great, and many thanks to the Ultrahuman marketing team for sending me not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4 of these Libre 3 sensors to test. It's been a game changer to have that insight and to help prevent less issues. And it's fun. I really find it entertaining to see the data that I've never seen before. It's kind of behind the curtain, that look behind the red curtain to see what your body's doing with your food. Oh, here we go. My metabolic score is now plus 16 and my glucose is at 93. That's pretty good. More to come.